How long you been sheriff now?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. More than this, you'd never have gotten me. Well, kill our way out, I suppose.
The movie is about a young boy who finds himself torn between loyalty and survival as he navigates a dangerous world of outlaws and lawmen, ultimately uncovering the true meaning of courage and family. As he witnesses a legendary figure's struggle, he must decide what kind of man he wants to become in a time when the line between good and evil blurs. Hello, it's Red Recap speaking. Today, I will be giving a rundown of the movie The Kid, which was released in 2019. Please note that there will be spoilers in my review. Without further ado, let's dive into the film. One fateful night, the young Rio Cutler finds himself in a tragic situation when he fatally shoots his alcoholic and abusive father, trying in vain to protect his mother from a brutal beating. Hearing the gunshot, Grant Cutler, Rio's uncle, rushes into the house in a rage over his brother's death. In his fury, Grant confronts Rio, during which he suffers a stab wound. Amidst the chaos, both Rio and his sister Sarah manage to flee, with Sarah stealing a horse to facilitate their escape. They take refuge in a deserted shack, planning to meet their mother's friend in Santa Fe. Upon awakening, Rio and Sarah are met by the infamous Billy the Kid and his group of outlaws. Rio takes the opportunity to show Billy a photograph of his mother, prompting Billy to share his own dark experience. He, too, had killed his father in order to protect his mother. While one of the gang members steps outside to investigate the situation with the horses, he is shot by Sheriff Pat Garrett and his posse, effectively cornering the gang inside the shack. A fierce shootout breaks out, and ultimately, Garrett's posse succeeds in capturing the gang members, making them prisoners. Sarah cautions Rio against venturing outside, expressing her concern that he could face execution if he admits to having killed their father. Despite her warning, Rio perceives this situation as an opportunity to escape safely to Santa Fe, so he rushes outside regardless of her fears. Sheriff Garrett starts to interrogate both Rio and Sarah. They explain that their mother has passed away, and during their journey to Santa Fe, they became separated from their father. Although Garrett appears to doubt their story, he ultimately decides to bring them along with him. The group halts at a ranch owned by Mexicans, where Billy spots his beloved and vows that he will return. As tensions rise during dinner, Billy provokes Garrett, while Rio discreetly passes him some butter to help him break free from his wrist restraints. In response, Billy makes a menacing threat to kill one of the deputies if he isn't released. Garrett pulls out a firearm and warns that he will shoot Dave Rutabaugh, a member of the gang, who is still chained to Billy at the ankle. With no feasible way to escape, the standoff calms down. Later on, Garrett opens up to Rio about the first individual he ever killed and inquires if Rio has anything he wishes to share. However, Rio simply replies that he does not. Upon their arrival in Santa Fe, Sheriff Romero insists on arresting Billy and Dave. Detecting an air of aggression, Garrett seizes control of a stagecoach. In the midst of an armed confrontation, he departs with Billy toward Lincoln County, where Billy will face trial. Meanwhile, Rio and Sarah manage to slip away amidst the chaos and locate a family friend of their mother's inside a dance hall. However, they are suddenly ambushed by Grant and his gang. Grant berates them, declaring their mother was a prostitute, and in retaliation for having killed his brother, he intends to take Sarah as his own. He cruelly forces Rio out onto the street and takes Sarah with him. Rio witnesses Dave on the verge of being hanged, and Dave informs him that Billy is in a similar predicament in Lincoln, handing over a letter from Billy that reveals he knows the whereabouts of Sarah. Determined, Rio steals a horse, acquires a firearm, and rides to Lincoln, heading straight for the jail to see Billy. However, Deputy Bob Ollinger refuses him entry. In a desperate attempt to gain access to the jail, Rio reluctantly robs a bank but gets shot by another deputy in the process. While in jail, Billy devises an escape plan and extends an invitation to Rio to join him. Meanwhile, Garrett approaches Rio once more, inquiring if he has any information to share, to which Rio again responds negatively. Subsequently, Garrett departs from the town. Billy initiates his escape plan. During a trip to the restroom, he launches an attack on his guard, and as the guard flees, Billy takes the opportunity to shoot him. Gaining possession of the keys to his shackles, he successfully frees Rio. The two of them then steal a horse and make their way toward a ranch in Mexico. Although Billy assures Rio that he will assist in the search for Sarah, their arrival at the ranch reveals to Billy that his love interest is expecting a child. He disregards Rio's heartfelt request for assistance. Soon after, Garrett arrives at the ranch, confronts Billy, and ultimately kills him. After this tragic turn of events, Rio comes to the realization that Billy was not capable of helping him and confides in Garrett about his father and sister's true situation. They make their way to the brothel located in Puerto de Luna, where Rio begins his search for Sarah. Meanwhile, Garrett runs into Grant, who shares a troubling memory with him. Grant recounts an incident in which he witnessed his brother involved in an incestuous act. When he informed their father about it, Grant faced severe physical punishment and was warned to remain silent about the matter. At that moment, Rio appears alongside Sarah, but chaos ensues when Grant seizes Rio as a hostage amid a conflict that features gunfire. During this tumultuous event, Sarah takes action and shoots one of the men from her uncle's gang who had previously assaulted her. Garrett pursues Grant out into the open, where Grant issues a dire threat, proclaiming that he will kill Rio unless he is set free. In response, Garrett informs Grant that there are witnesses who can confirm how he fled from Pat Garrett, displaying cowardice. Grant disputes this claim, asserting that it is inaccurate. However, Garrett insists that the truth is irrelevant. What truly matters is the narrative that will be shared once Grant is no longer present. Garrett then dares Grant to engage in an honorable gunfight, a challenge which Grant accepts, carelessly throwing Rio aside in the process. Out of nowhere, Sarah steps outside the saloon, catching Garrett off guard. Seizing the opportunity, Grant attempts to act, but Rio swiftly shoots him in the head. Before Garrett departs from the town, he takes a moment to address the siblings, reminding them that there is goodness within them and ample life ahead to make a positive impact. As Sarah and Rio begin their ride, Rio takes the time to encourage Sarah, reminding her of her earlier words to him. It's perfectly okay to feel fear, but one must continue to strive and press forward until they discover something worthwhile in life. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you want to watch more videos like this. Thanks and see you again soon. Take care.